Yes, friends. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Even though our session starts in the morning, 6:30, the Wisdom Sunday sessions, and with a 3 hours of gap, still you are able to make it. Most of you. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Sundays, which we've been doing since last few months. And today we have a special guest. Most of you know her, and you have seen her, and you have participated in one of her workshops sessions. So we have Christiana with us. She is a therapist, holistic speaker, author of 5 books, and a peace ambassador. And also she is playing a important role in our PSSM Global. She has done so many workshops in our PSSM platforms. Even I have attended some of them as on the what you call raw diet. The diet, how it the important role it plays in our spirituality, and so many workshop to realize our true potential and our true nature. She has done wonderful work, and she has got she was there in Bangalore Pyramid Valley a few years ago when Prana was also there, my wife Pranahita, and she really loved the Pranic festival that happened in Pyramid Valley. And most of you maybe know her that she's been doing so many Pranic festivals, and there is one, I think, in August, if I'm not wrong. Thank you, Christiana, with a short notice. Just 2 days ago, I asked her, "Hey, Christiana, are you free to take the session?" She said immediately, "Oh, I would love to." See, thank you so much for such a short notice. And I only got to know about the topic yesterday evening, and now we are here. And thank you for coming to on our platform. And today the topic, she has given the free energy and Breatharianism. But to start with, as Christiana asked, we come up with some questions. Friends, I have one question, but anyway, thank you. Welcome to the platform. And few words.
Thank you for inviting me. It's so great to connect with you at the Pyramid Valley and the whole Pyramid Society. I'm so honored to be a board member in this organization that is doing so much important work in the world, helping people be conscious of their inner light. That's what I think we're doing. And I've been honored by your invitation. I miss India very much, so I'm very happy to connect with India and my Indian friends and colleagues whenever I can. So of course I said yes instantly, as I had some free time. And I'm happy to be here with you, and soon I hope we'll be in Pyramid Valley with the Pranic Festival again, the one that your wife Prana has participated to. I hope we'll be there maybe in September, October, if everything is falling into place.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. And just to let you know that we now at the moment we are in UK, and this session is for UK people. All of the people here are from UK, and they are most of them are visited Pyramid Valley. And if you, I think some of them are, because it's a holiday time in August and September. Maybe if some of them are there, they would love to attend your workshop. And if you know the dates after the workshop, we can post it in the groups. Yeah. Thank you, Christiana.
Yes, yes, I've noticed that the invitation came from PSSM UK, but I see so many Indian names now that I'm clearly connecting to India through all of you.
Yes.
Okay, I would love this section to be very interactive. I would love to meet all your questions. So please start shooting questions in the chat box right away. Because I love talking about what you want to hear. The topic of today basically is about the human capacity to be nourished by energy or prana or life force, and our human capacity or divine capacity to heal ourselves with this energy. So all of you have heard of pranic healing, and you've had classes and pyramid Valley and so on. But pranic nourishment is something deeper. It's the ability to be nourished by source, not needing so much physical food or needing much less than usual, and then human beings are using, and being aware that you are a being of the divine, and that your channels are open, and that you can channel energy through your system, not only for healing but also for nourishment. And so many people have noticed that when you start meditating, or you start doing some yoga or qigong or some breathing practice, you move naturally into a lighter diet. So many yogis are recommending a vegetarian or vegan diet for the practice. Why? Because there's so much energy streaming through your channels that if you're using meat-based products or animal-based products in your diet and doing yoga or breath work, you might encounter some blockages, you might have some pains, and you might have some disbalances, because there's a lot of energy that is meant to stream through some blocked nadis. The heavy nourishment is generally blocking your energy channels, especially the meat, the drugs, the coffee, the smoking, all that stuff. That's why any yogi master that is, well aligned, because nowadays there's so much marketing, any yogi master that is well aligned will recommend you first and foremost to lighten up your diet when you start using energy practices. The other way around is that when you do energy practices, you're naturally moving into a lighter diet. You're feeling to eat less. You're feeling to choose healthier products. You're having more compassion. Therefore, you no longer want to kill other beings for you to be fed. And that's the first step towards free energy, towards breatharianism, towards pranic nourishment. So naturally, I'm guessing all of you are at a certain level on pranic nourishment, because I know you are high meditators, and you are frequently having spiritual practice. So this is the topic that I'm touching upon today, and I'm looking forward for your questions so that we basically talk about what you want to hear.
Yeah, sure. To start with, there is one question. What is the motivation for you to come into to be a breatharian, and how long have you been a breatharian?
Yes. Well, I'm going to say something that's challenging for the mind. I never wanted to be a breatharian, and I never thought I am. So my motivation in every action that I did, especially in my spiritual practice, was to stay connected to source, to remember, remind myself, and feel every day that I am connected. And that's the motivation that guides me in my spiritual practice, in my daily life, and in my activity, in whatever it is that I'm sharing with people. And I never subscribe to the breatharian term per se, because it's so controversial. Breatharian means being nourished by breath, the same way a vegetarian means being nourished by vegetables. In truth, you're not nourished by breath, but you are nourished by source, the energy within your cells, and that binds together the whole universe. That's why I'm saying the term is controversial, and I don't necessarily subscribe to it. There are people who are yogis that are able to still their breath to the level that they are not breathing for a long time. They are also nourished. So they have retreats where they stop their breathing and they go into a very, very high state of consciousness, and yet their body does not decay. So therefore, it's not the breath that is nourishing them, it's something deeper, and is deeply ingrained within your cells, and it's your divine blueprint. So that's why I don't call myself a breatharian, and never have aspired to be one. But I can say that I have been on a lighter diet and lighter nourishment for many years now. Especially the past 6 years, I think, have been more proficient in this. I've always been one that liked to eat lighter. I never liked meat. I never liked heavy products. I had digestive issues when I would eat heavy meals. So I always preferred vegetables and fruits. However, around 17, I decided that I need to be a vegetarian. It was something intuitive. In our country, there was no education on that topic. So intuitively, I moved into that type of diet. I saw some dead chicken and I noticed they were green, blue, so that couldn't be nourishment for me. You know, they were dead of natural death and not prepared, not cooked. So I clicked into this idea that this is death and I'm alive, so we don't match frequency. You know, I like to be alive and continue to be alive. So that's when I became vegetarian based on this idea. And this is 22 years ago. Now I'm 39. When I moved into the corporate and business area, and I had jobs that involved a lot of competition and power, which I did when I was young, starting from the 19 years of age until 28 or something, I played with heavy nourishment and I became very disbalanced because I didn't listen anymore to my inner guidance, right? So at 27, 28, I needed to move back into a healthier lifestyle and daily meditation and determined vegetarianism. And that's when my pranic journey restarted, because I have been without nourishment when I was adolescent, around 14 years of age. I had multiple months with half an apple per day or a biscuit per day. So that was my nourishment. So I have been in that state, but I was meditating in a crystal. I was having, you know, that childish vibe that is more pure and so on. When I started to grow mature and to use all kinds of heavy foods, I for a while forgot that ability and forgot that state. So I had to go back into it through daily practice, back to being connected, I mean. So I started to meditate. I lightened up my diet to vegetarianism and then veganism, and fasted a lot and purified my body a lot with, you know, Shamprakshalana and water fasting and juice fasting and breathwork techniques and so many yogi techniques, you know, the bandhas that are purifying the internal organs and so on. That has been my practice for 10 years now, more than 10 years, I think 13. So it grew exponentially into a state of being more connected and more aligned. And therefore, my food quantity decreased naturally. I didn't aim to stop eating. I didn't woke up in the morning and said, okay, I'm going to be a pranic person because this is what this is the next best label for spiritual people or something. So this is not how my ego worked at that time. But I did do the practice every day for being calmer, more compassionate, more kind to people. This is what I aimed for. I did want to master my emotions better, because before I could be a very angry person. I did want to be more aligned. So my practice pushed me, you know, out of compassion or common sense, my practice pushed me into the direction of eating lighter. And certain heavy products just dropped from my diet as the frequency of my body rose. So I first ditched, I ditched meat long time ago, but then I ditched cheese and dairy, and then I ditched any animal product of any kind because my body felt heavy and discomfortable. Just because of that, not based on an idea or a concept, but based on frequency matching. The more the frequency of my body would match the frequency of the pranic field, the less heavy food or any food I needed. After a dark room of 10 days with no food and just juices, which is a training that we do in the dark with no light, and it's an initiation that is known in India. It's part of the Kaya Kalpa ritual and is known in Tibetan tradition and Chinese and even Romanian traditions. After that initiation of 10 days with no solid food and no light, I noticed that for more than 40 days, my body didn't need any food. And sometimes it didn't need any liquid. So if I tried to swallow water, my throat would hurt. And if I tried to swallow food, my whole body would hurt. So it was not a choice or a fasting, it was a natural alignment where my frequency grew to a certain level where I couldn't take solid or heavy food. So I respected the flow of my body, the natural tendency of going lighter. And that was when I noticed that I can go around, roller skate, do sports, organize events, have common day activity, and not eat and not feel tired or depleted. So I said, okay, so this is something that humans can do. And I didn't aim to prolong it or make it last forever. I just respected what my body and spirit needed to do because I dedicated my body to spirit. At a certain point, I said, Spirit, take this vessel, this sack of bones and liquids that I'm in, and do whatever you want with it. And that was the programming or the decision or the statement that made spirit fully inhabit my body because I gave it away. It's not the body of a person or moving into the world, right? So whatever it does is perfect. So if it wants to eat, it can eat. And if it wants to stay without food, it can stay without food. And of the two is the perfect state for me. That's why I'm saying I never aimed for not eating. Whatever spirit wants to do. And after that time of more than 40 days, where I've noticed that I can experience very good pranic nourishment without any need of taking or ability of taking physical food. After that time, I said, okay, whenever this needs to manifest, it will happen. And whenever it needs to, whenever my body needs to be denser or take a little solid food, it can do that, whatever is necessary. Because sometimes I need to meet big groups of people and they are not prepared for that frequency. They cannot meet me if I'm not frequency aligned to a certain gathering, like for example a gathering of scientists or professors, because we're bridging a lot now spirituality with full based science so that we can understand many things that are happening in ourselves. When I have to do that, I take a little solid food with them. It can't be heavy, it can't be large quantities, so not bigger than a slice of bread, to give you an idea, or not bigger than a fistful of nuts, something like this. But I can do it, and it's no problem for me. And sometimes I feel to do it also in my home, and I do this solid nourishment, and but it's very small quantities and very light. For example, I now like to take grapes with nuts. That's all I enjoy for my body, or soups that are blended into a cream soup, or something like this. It's very easy, or a fistful of salad. It's easy for the body to process that without any heavy reactions. But if I would eat daily, and solid food and lots of heavy stuff, I feel myself slowing down vibrationally. And how this slowing down feels, it feels like sadness, it feels like lack of motivation, it feels like not wanting to do public speaking, because my frequency is lower than what I'm meaning to talk about. So I know that state, and I am not a big fan of it. So therefore, I'm not a big fan of eating solid food daily. I prefer to be on liquids. I do juices and smoothies. I do teas. I like water with lemon. That's my preference at this moment. So this is how I would define myself. If you want, I would say Pranic woman, or something like this. But breatharian is heavy imprinted because everybody expects you to never take any food or water ever. And that's an expectation that is not very aligned to the current situation of the world. And most breatharians or pranic people, because I know thousands of them, hundreds of them, and I've collaborated with tens of them, and we're organizing festivals all over the world, and we're traveling all over the world together, and we're living together sometimes. And most of them, even though they have the ability to live without food or water or without food for a long time, they still like to share dinner with friends sometimes. They still taste certain things. They enjoy life in the physicality with no problem. So that's why I'm saying that the breatharian term is a bit restrictive and a bit far-fetched and a bit exaggerated in people's minds, because never eating at all is not something that we do. But we do have the ability to regulate the frequency of our body in such way that we need very little or no food. So I hope this is clarifying the term and also the lifestyle. And speaking about the lifestyle, I also want to state that it is not possible to have this inner state and this type of living without having a daily lifestyle of spiritual or energy practice. Nobody, we highly warn everybody to not stop eating without a daily spiritual practice and without the proper training for a higher energy state. So if you stop eating and just if you stop eating and don't do anything at all in your daily practice, and don't take any solid or liquid food, your body will decay and die. This is a warning for everybody listening, because there have been people which started with any spiritual practice. They started fasting, and with the fasting came a lot of detoxing and a lot of pain in the body and a lot of stuff. And some people have disbalanced their bodies or they died. So this is not something that you should try at home without any preparation or training or the perseverance of having a daily practice of breath work and meditation and so on. And for 10 years now, we have created and shared a program that I'm actually sharing it these days right after your conference. I'm teaching one of the workshops in that program. It's called the Pranic Process Online, and it's describing the methods, techniques, and meditations to take you into a state of more connectedness and into a lighter diet, to the point where people, take many days or weeks or months without solid food, and they purify their bodies a lot and they upgrade their frequencies a lot. So it's a training of 8 days. We meet every day for 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, and we describe these processes. We give out a lot of programming and techniques and practices that you can use, and we do a lot of clearing. And the powerful thing in this program is that we have a very strong meditation at the end. It's a clearing, energizing exercise. And it's an exercise that recodes your whole body, your whole system, and your whole energy field into a pranic state. So we've had people that after this, they didn't need food for a long time. They totally shifted their lifestyle. They shifted not only the food intake, but the relationships and businesses and, abundance and everything else. And this is what I'm doing for 10 years. So anybody listening now can actually join this program right after we finish with you. If I'm allowed, I can place a link in the chat box, and you can see what I'm talking about. It's over there, and that's the link to my website. There's a event section in my website that you can see all the events that we're doing, that I'm also placing here. And this is also where you can find my books and my bio and many, many articles that are free and videos that are free. So at the section of books and videos, you find lots of videos on this topic, free to watch. And at the home section of the website, you find a lot of articles that are not only referring to pranic nourishment, but also cosmic alignment events. Like today is a big eclipse, right? And the full moon. So it's wonderful that we're having this event in such an auspicious time that is, fueling our evolutionary tendency, the tendency to evolve, to the perseverance to make the moves and the steps to grow our energy higher, right? So we talk about all that in our articles and in our classes as well. Another important thing that we're doing for the world, apart from the Pranic Festival in India, that we had one edition in 2019, we're doing a Pranic Festival in Romania. So we're gathering all the speakers that I trust, that are nourished by prana, that are having this ability to be nourished by source and have had extended periods of time without solid food. We are gathering them in Romania, and they are offering workshops and healing sessions and practices in an event, in a 4 days retreat, basically, that is of a very, very, very high energy. So it's imagine 8 or 10 or 14 or 20 light beings that are naturally nourished by light and that are in human form, all of them gathered in one room together with many other people that are on similar frequencies, that are doing practice morning to evening every day together. It's an outstanding gathering. I just love it. It's not that I organize it, but I just love being a part of it every year. And it's for 7 years now that we're having it in Romania in August 15 to 19. So if you're in England, it's a 2-hour flight and you can join us anytime, and it's inexpensive compared to other much less powerful retreats. And really, it's a life-changing event. And after that, we go in the mountains of Romania and we work with some sacred sites and energy vortexes and temples that I'm a gatekeeper of. One of my jobs is to work with specific energy vortexes and ley lines of the planet, including in India. And we take people there to meet their star family and their guides of light, and to connect with the ancestral energy history that they're holding in their fields, all their knowledge or their power, their virtues that they've accumulated over lifetimes. They are awakened in this journey. So it's an initiative retreat called the Trip of the Sun, because we are following the path of pre-Christian sun worshippers. It's a civilization on the whole planet that have worshipped the sun and have built megalithic monuments all over the planet and have left us a lot of techniques and practices. And one of these, several of these monuments are here in Romania. One is the Romanian Sphinx that is connected with the Egyptian Sphinx. And we have several other temples that we visit in this trip in August, right after the Pranic Festival. So this is the next level of retreat, and then another light nourishment retreat. All of them, you find them in this event page that I just placed in the comments on the chat box, soulhealingacademy.com/events. If you're on my other channels, I'm placing it in the comments over there, and it's also on my Instagram, which is Eltrayan, like my name, in bio. So you find it everywhere, basically. Yes, so I see that we have some questions. If you have questions, Ravi, I'm happy to also listen to yours. Yes. I kept talking.
No, I mean, it's very, very interesting. I mean, the first time, the very important statement that you have given is the then for vegetarians, people think that the vegetables are they are the reason for nourishment, and for vegetarians, breath is the nourishment. But you are saying the source, which is very profound. So
Yeah.
we don't need to rely on anything. The only except the source where we can be nourished. And one more important thing that I've noticed from your talk is that you have not done anything specific. It just happened automatically because you have done a lot of practicing meditation, and you are in that path, and you followed your intuition. So for that, I think aligning with ourselves, and to be in practicing the meditation and doing more and more meditation will give you the guidance automatically. That's one other way. I think that's what it is. That's how it happened to you. This is very interesting to know that you haven't taken any training, and it's everything. You just listen to your heart, and you listen to your intuition. So it's amazing. And yeah.
Well, I want to add a little bit on that. All the practices that I did, and I have been in many trainings. So every year I've been in one or two or three powerful retreats all over the world that had to do with pranic nourishment and reconnecting to source. So I did invest, time, money, and energy in training myself. It happened like that.
Yeah.
I followed teachers that were in that state. One of them is Jasmine, that and some others, and some are in the light realm as well. And they have guided me with specific practices that are clearing the channels, clearing the energy field, clearing the chakras. They had that state, so it was also some kind of samyama, or shaktipat transmitted to me in a way that I have been imbued in. And then I did 8 to 10 to 14 hours of practice daily at home that were meant to clear my channels and my chakras, and I still do. Sun gazing is still my daily practice, and it has to do with pranic nourishment. Light breath is a specific technique, that fills your whole body with light, and I do it every day. I did the exercises from the pranic books as well, from the books of the people that were nourished by prana, just to see what happens. So I did follow certain techniques on that specific direction, but not with the sole purpose of not eating. For me, not eating is just yet another siddhi. Like you train for telepathy, you train for intuition, you train for, whatever siddhi you want to have. I don't aim for the siddhi. I aim for the connection that gives you all the siddhis that you're necessary to manifest whenever it's necessary for them to manifest in a non-egoic way, So that's why I did mention that I didn't aim for pranic nourishment, but I do mention that I did a lot of daily practice and a lot of retreats and trainings that led me in that direction. And that's why I'm also recommending people to train themselves, either with my trainings or other trainings, if they want to be in that state. But because without any training, just going with your intuition, I do trust that you have good intuition, but I do trust that there's a lot of blockages that people have. And some of the guidance can come from that blockage. Thank you, Dr. Rajan. I see you have my book on your table. Here it is. we have written 5 books. I have written 5 books so far, published 5 books. I've written 8 of them. And the last book published is giving a lot of insights on pranic nourishment and pranic detox. So how to purify and upgrade your body with specific methods for this high state of consciousness. And we are giving a lot of details on the science of it, what the melatonin is doing, what's happening when you're in the alpha theta state, what's happening with the hunger hormones, and how they can be regulated, the leptin and the ghrelin that are influencing your hunger state, right? Why do breatharians or pranic people don't feel hungry? Because they are secreting a lot of melatonin, and melatonin is regulating the hunger hormones. So you're no longer having a hungry state. That's important. How do you produce more melatonin? You still your mind. So it's been proven through scientific study that meditation is when you put your mind into the alpha theta state, the state of the brain waves that are stiller, that's when you secrete more melatonin, the same way you do when you are in a sleep state, right? It is as if you put your body to sleep, but instead you are awake and conscious, and your body is feeling very relaxed, as if you were sleeping. So it's producing melatonin. It's also that state of producing more melatonin. It's also achieved when fasting. So when you let your body and your digestive system rest for a while, a few days or so, it produces 500 to 500% more melatonin than the brain, which means you have a second brain in your gut. Many of you know this. And that brain is meant to produce melatonin and to give you insights and specific intuitions. It's not only meant to digest your food. So if you leave it alone for a while and let it rest, it will give you a lot of power and energy and secrete hormones that are regulating your whole system. The production of ATP, which is the energy of your cells, the adenosine triphosphate that is nourishing your cells, the production of other hormones, and it will regulate your whole state. But it has to do with your state of your mind. If your mind is agitated, if you're not meditating or doing any spiritual practice, it's hard to have a calm alpha theta state, and then your body is not producing the right chemistry to regulate your hunger hormones and to access more ATP for your cells, more energy for your cells. Also, when you do sports, when you run a marathon, your mitochondria, the organelles that are feeding your cells, are producing a lot much more ATP than when you're sitting still on your couch. So one way of producing energy is actually doing sports. You don't need to eat more when you're doing sports. You just need to choose the right nutrients or do more spiritual practice and sports, and you'll have more energy. And I actually have colleagues in my Pranic festival that are running and winning triathlons, which is very heavy training sport, just by training themselves energetically and drinking orange juice. That's all they do. So the concept that you don't have enough energy to do physical activity and sports because you don't eat solid food is not so correct anymore. With the science in this book, you can notice that it's very different. It's very different, a new way that the body is actually functioning. And thank you, Dr. Rajan, for reminding me of this, because it's always good to have doctors in the gathering and a few scientists, because they bring the right frequency for me to give the logical explanations for the spiritual and holistic parts, right? It's not just the, you're all light and the happiness. Is the complete down to earth, clear cellular brain chemistry, body work, and all that stuff that we can refer to. So we have built, actually, we have a team of scientists, a group of scientists, including doctors, geneticists, physicists, cardiologists, neurologists, including Dr. Sa, the Indian doctor that has tested Pralajani. Everybody is in this group together with me, and we're sharing information that is very high science that has to do with the body's ability to be nourished in this way. And so many scientists now have agreed and start researching this type of reality, because we're no longer wanting to talk of it from the spiritual perspective. We want to bring the science to it so that everybody can understand that it is possible. And we have actually many scientists that have been breatharians. If you look at what Nikola Tesla was saying and how he was eating, you might notice that he wasn't consuming so much food, but he was aware that everything is energy. If you look at Nassim Haramein's videos and testimonials, he is declaring that when in high state of consciousness, when he was really, really, really a high level of thinking, he wasn't needing physical food. So for 3 years, he was in a breatharian state or nourished by prana. So putting your mind in a high level of energy with the right information, right nourishment for your mind, is actually helping you manifest more energy for your body as well. I'm going to take questions in a second. I'm just looking for a playlist of scientific videos that we've created, because I know some of you are interested in that. I just want to look and find it and share it with you. There it is. And I'm taking questions in a second. How much time do we have? I never asked how long this conference is.
Yeah, usually it is 1 hour, but we can go beyond 1 hour. That's not a problem, because this subject is so interesting, and it's, to be honest, it's like a very radical.
Yeah, it is kind of radical, I know.
Yeah, and we have a doctor to prove it. It's he also kind of Dr. Saurabh Ranjan, if you want to, because you're waiting for to talk something.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Go ahead. You want to tell us something? I'm looking forward for it.
Go on.
Kindly improve this book. This book is quite published in haphazard way. I think this book can be improved much. The content is good, but presentation of the material is quite not in very systematic way. But yes, the content of your book is very good, Christiana. I am following you on Instagram and on YouTube for quite a long time.
Okay. Thank you for your feedback.
And theoretically, I do understand that it's possible to nourish on light, on prana. But the thing is, since in my medical community, there is even debate that you can't take sufficient vitamin B12 from plant source.
Yes, that's an old concept, of course.
Yeah. In the medical community, they are fighting for micronutrients, the source of micronutrients.
Absolutely. So, the best micronutrient is prana. is the smallest micronutrient and the best and always free, as opposed to the medical remedies. This micronutrient is always free. But of course, I do encourage people to have supplements and the nutrients that are of high quality. I do that because before being in a pranic state, you need to be well nourished and use high energy nourishment, of a physical source. So we're not fighting against that. But we do contradict and prove wrong the concept that vitamin B cannot be taken by plants. Well, try kombucha for a while and tell me that you cannot take vitamin B. Or try sauerkraut juice, or try other things that are containing that. So we need to update our concepts in the scientific community. That's why we built this group of scientists and brought them together for an update in what is required as nourishment for our bodies, because it has been a long time that there's been a lot of misconception on that topic.
Yeah, there's one question as well, Christiana, that from Jyoti, that do you take vitamins or supplements, and what about the health? Do you feel more healthy now compared to you before? So I think So that's
So I will show you something. Just a sec. One important thing that I take that is not a supplement, but is something that is purifying and upgrading my water is called plasma water. I'm going to send you some details on it for the ones interested. And I put a few drops in my jar of water because I never drink tap water. I only take water from springs or from sources that are purer. And I put a few drops in it. It restructures the molecular structure of water, and it makes it in a high, it creates a higher energy, and it gives a better purifying and upgrading quality to the water that I'm drinking. So because the water is so easy to imprint, when it travels through various areas, either through the pipes or through the supermarkets or wherever it is, Masaru Emoto has proven that it changes the molecular structure according to the words and energies that it goes through. Because of that, the quality of the water can be a bit distorted, especially the tap water, but also the water from the supermarket or the water that you drink from a bottle in a restaurant and so on. So it has a disruptive pattern in its molecular structure. If it has been in areas or exposed to substances or thought patterns that are not beneficial for the human body. When it gets into your body, it can either upgrade the molecular structure of your inner water because you're 70 to 90% water. You're 70% water at the cellular level and 90% at the molecular level. So your water, right? Whatever water you put in your body or food is influencing the molecular structure of your inner water, right? So in order to have a harmonious water intake, one that is well structured, that has a nicely shaped molecule, right? I use this thing that is purifying, alkalinizing, and reshaping the structure of my water. I can do it with blessing the water. I can do it with intention, of course. But since something gets in the physical, I use physical things for it, just because I like to play with the physical realm as well. So this is one thing that I use, and I love it. And it's my supplement, if you will, but it's not a supplement. It's something that is clearing and purifying the water. And I've noticed fantastic results in people when they took it, because everybody who's going through a pranic process or pranic festival, they have tried it. And they naturally lighten up their diet. They healed certain things in their bodies, including diabetes and stuff. And they have also enough, they have shifted their lifestyle, because once your molecular structure changes, the whole emanation of energy that you are changes, right? So one thing that I'm using. Another thing is I love to make juices and smoothies, right? That's my main nourishment. Not many, just 1 or 2 per day. But and I always have my blender with me for that, the device that is making juices. But there are certain areas or situations, either in a hotel room or when I'm traveling for several days, that I cannot make the juices. Either I don't eat, I just drink water, or if it's necessary to add something external in my system, I have some powders. It's called from a brand that is called Your Super. It's some superfoods, basically, that are the same things that I'm putting in my juices, but dehydrated and made into powder, like pineapple, carrot, ginger, a little probiotic, stuff like this. They are made into powder so that it's easier for me to mix it with water and just drink it when I don't have time to chop the fruits, peel them, and whatever it's necessary for you to make a smoothie, right? So this is what I'm using as supplements in general. Or it's not supplements, it's basically mixes or fruits, juices, and roots, sometimes maca, guarana, ashwagandha, that I'm naturally including in my diet especially when I'm having stressful times, or when I'm having a lot of people, meetings that are, heavier energy than usual, or stuff like this, So that's what I'm carrying with me in small quantities, and I'm adding it to the water, and it's making a meal for me. That is a meal, basically. And if you 1 or 2 teaspoons of that powder, which is a mix of dehydrated fruits and roots, I add it into the water and I drink it. So that's basically mainly what I use in general. If ever I get imbalanced, because sometimes I do things that are a bit more than my body can take, I like to test myself. I like to push some limits of the physical realm sometimes, either traveling through various energy portals or doing stuff like this. If ever I get imbalanced, and I notice myself getting imbalanced, I can take sometimes a little magnesium that gets me back on earth, or a little calcium, that grounds my frequency in a more clear way, because being a multidimensional being and experiencing that constantly can shift the frequency of your human cells a lot, and sometimes you need to get back to a more denser or human vibration. Sometimes you need to take some minerals and stuff like this, and many of my colleagues have done so, either when they went through some illness or some disbalance of such. So this is the only times when I do that, and it's rarely. The rest of the time, I use this water and the mixes of dehydrated fruits and roots that I told you about when I cannot make my own juices. That's the main thing. I'm taking questions now from the Q&A area, from the, let me see, from the chat box. Someone is asking, the motivation for breatharianism. I answered that. Hunger pangs and cravings. Somebody is asking if I have hunger pangs and cravings of any foods when you are in parties or business get-togethers. Or yeah, when I'm in heavy environments, especially, I don't feel to eat or drink anything. It's the other way around, actually. But if I'm with friends, if we are in a relaxed environment and we're having a great time, and someone is eating something that is light and nice looking, that is vegan, I like to taste that. It's not necessarily that I never feel hungry. I don't know how hunger feels anymore. I do feel when I need to take solid food, because my body is vibrating at a very high frequency, and I feel that my feet are not, as if my feet are not touching the earth. But that's not a hunger. That's a state as if you've levitated yourself off the earth. It's different feeling in your body, right? But hunger, no, I don't have that. It's because of the hormones that I was telling you about, the leptin and ghrelin, that are regulated by melatonin. So the more melatonin we produce and the more balanced our inner state is, the less hungry we feel. In terms of cravings, I don't have that either. I've always been a fan of interesting tastes. So I've worked with the restaurant industry, event industry, fine foods, fine cuisine in general, high-end cooks all the time. They are around me. Still, I'm sometimes playing with that. But I no longer feel the craving. Sometimes I just feel that if that food frequency matches me, or I need to frequency match a person that eats that food. For example, if you're eating strawberries, I may take a bite so that I'm one with your core frequency at that moment. It's different. It's not a craving, it's not mouth-watering, it's just that looks interesting, let's see what it does to my body. Or just I know how it tastes and I like to taste it again, or I just like to synchronize with the group. So if they're eating, I don't know, almonds, I take 1 or 2 almonds, so I'm on the same current frequency as that group. That's how I experience food now. Let's see, something else. What are the symptoms when you felt that you no longer needed food? How your body was reacting to food? Yeah, so as I said, when I was trying to take food or water, first it would feel very heavy in my throat area, because that's the chakra that's filtering prana and bringing more prana in your body. So my throat area would be heavily impacted by it. And if I swallowed that solid food, for example, I would have cramps and pains in my digestive system. So the only one time that I tried to take solid food in a time when I was highly nourished by prana, I literally crawled on the floor for a few hours when I had that, because there was such a powerful, imagine a wire, right? That is used to 220 voltage, and you put it into the 380. So it has to upgrade itself to hold a higher voltage. And then you try to put water through it. It doesn't work. It hurts. It will break the wire. The same way, we are wires, we are transceivers, we are channels of energy. And if at one time you channel a lot of energy, lots, and you put a heavier energy into that wire, you will feel pain. So many people now actually on the planet are feeling pains and imbalances in their bodies due to the quality of the fuel or food that they're consuming. Much of the health problems in the world, much of them, many of them, are mainly based on the fuel that you are consuming. That's the number one disease source in the world, your food. The second one is your thoughts, and the third one are your emotions. And then comes pollution and exposure to, technology and all that. But if you clear these three things that are very important, then this is what we're doing in our programs. If you clear your food intake and food habits and your thoughts and your emotions, your body's ability to cope with all the rest of the stress, like technology and biomagnetic stress and the Wi-Fi and all that stuff, your body's ability is so highly increased. But if you're demolishing your body every day with bad food, bad thoughts, bad emotions, it surely cannot cope to the rest of the stress, pollution and electromagnetic stress and so on. So that's why it decays and gets sick and dies. When I'm going to say something now that is not nice for some people. When the 5G antennas were implanted on the planet and activated, we would have had a much better health state if we had trained our bodies in advance with healthier food, lighter food, good exercise, good mindset, good emotions. We wouldn't have had a problem so much, so at such high degree. But instead, because most population has demolished their bodies over time, that type of antenna activation caused a pandemic. Oops, I just said it. So let's move back into the questions. Yeah, the body is reacting. Insta profile is Eltrayan, the same as my name that you see on the screen on the Zoom. My Insta profile. Should it come automatically or can we learn it? We've answered that. So Dr. Rajan that you just seen is saying that he has read my book, and one is the request to release its second edition with the foreword by Patriji. I'm very happy to have a foreword by Patriji in any book. I love Patriji, you know that. So I can release it anytime. You can publish one if you want. I don't mind, whatever works. He's a high spirit, and any forward by him is a blessing. 2, being a medical doctor and witness of both spiritual and medical community, I want to know documentation, research on nutrition from light source so far. Yeah, if you read the book, some of the documentation and studies is in the book, and you have seen the references to the studies there and the NASA research and so on. And the other scientific reference is the one that I was trying to find now. Without reading your question, I telepathically or intuitively perceived that it is necessary to look for that playlist with a lot of scientists describing their point of view and their research on pranic nourishment. So I'm gonna find this playlist now, and you find lots of, there it is, you find lots of videos there that are of scientific reference. So I'm placing it in the chat box, and Dr. Rajan and everyone else can refer to it. There it is. Any other questions? I'm preparing to end, so we are very close to that. Nasim Harmin. Yeah, you see Nasim Harmin in the playlist that I just posted. Dr. Rajan mentioned people who are following plant-based diet need to take vitamin B12. We take vitamin D along with B12, and UK weather is mostly cloudy, don't have enough sunlight, we get vitamin D naturally. Yes, that's why you need to meditate. You see, this kind of concept limits you to the idea that you cannot have something unless you have something else. You see, if I don't have sun, I don't have vitamin. If I don't have this, I don't have that. You still refer in your concept to external resources. When you train yourself to perceive your inner energy and the energy from source, you know that you have everything. You are ever abundant. That's a different state of mind entirely. Until then, yes, you need supplements, you need vitamin D, you need vitamin B, you need to take care of your nutrition. And that's the first step into heighten up your frequency. And I do recommend people that they do that. But once you install within yourself the program, that source energy, prana, the micronutrients from source that is in every cell and organ and in everything in the universe, including your vitamin D, is made of particles of prana, condensed to a certain frequency that is giving a certain vitamin. The calcium is prana condensed to the calcium frequency. The vitamin B is prana or energy or source field condensed into the frequency of vitamin B. Your body is prana or energy or source, which is molecules and atoms and microorganelles condensed into the frequency of you. Therefore, everything is prana, right? We need to see everything as frequency and vibration and really encompass that concept, and then program ourselves and our body to know and remember that we are that. And in that state, you no longer are afraid that you don't have the sun in your cave. But still, if you need to take vitamin D from the sun, try and do the exercise of meditating with the sun. You don't need to see it on the sky. You know how it looks, you know its frequency, you know the number that you need to dial energetically to connect with the sun. So meditate daily with the energy of the sun in UK, and you will get the energy of the sun into your cells, even if it's not out there on the sky visible to you. It's still existing in the center of your galaxy, And what we do in the program that I referred to, the Pranic Process Online, we do a lot of meditation with the central sun that is existing at the certain center of our universe. So that's a lot of prana right there, right? So join me and see and feel and notice how you can actually connect to source without any vitamins externally. I don't feel hungry, I just I eat because it's eating time. Well, that's eating out of habit. We talk a lot about it in our training, how to release that need and the emotions connected to it. When you don't take food and water for a longer time and then you take any food or water, even if a small amount, does it hurt your body? Well, it depends. You know, I always do what I'm guided to do. So there are days when I'm not having food and having very little water, and then I'm guided to take a certain juice or a certain food. If I do it with a specific guidance, I don't feel any pain. If I would do it out of craving, I would definitely, if my body is not prepared for it, if it's not aligned to that frequency, I would definitely have discomfort. So there are two states from which you make your choices. One is divine will, and one is personal will. When you're using personal will, you always hurt. Either in your body or your mind or your emotions, but you always have some pain over there. Yeah, I think I covered all the questions. I placed some links as well. I think we're done, unless you want to have a quick exercise of pranic nourishment. We give you some lunch. What do you think? Or is it breakfast? What time is it? I think in UK it's not.
Maybe it's a brunch time, breakfast and lunch.
Let's do some lunch for a few more minutes. We have about 10 more minutes to go.
Yes.
After that, immediately after that, I start the pranic process that I'm referring to. So whomever wants to be in it, type yes in the comments. You can make the payments later. There is an energy exchange for the workshop or for the whole program, but I would be happy to actually move to the next level with those of you who resonated with this. Also, at the end of this month, you know, before we begin, I need to say that too. In the event page that we've placed there, at the end of this month, we have a retreat in Romania, in the mountains of Romania, which is a silent pranic retreat. It's called Upgrade Your Light. Upgrade Your Light. We meet for 3 days. We have liquid food, so no solid food. For those of you who choose that, there are people who want to eat, they can choose to eat, but they miss the fun of it. And we go to sacred sites, energy vortexes, special places. We walk on ley lines. We learn how to work with ourselves, with our bodies, specific meditations, specific practices. We connect to our family of light, and we upgrade our frequency in person. We meet here in Romania in a very pure, pristine area in the mountains. So if you're not far away, because you're in England, you can take a flight and meet us 27th to 29th of May. You find it in our event page with the name of Upgrade Your Light. That's the retreat that we are referring to. And it's not very far away from this moment now. And we only take 6 to 8 people. It's a very exclusive retreat because we want to be like a family, very close to you and very connected like that. Okay, so now let's start following our breath. We go in a short exercise or meditation together. Let's start following our breath. We imagine that we're all in a column of light from a center of the universe to the center of the earth. And this column of light is surrounding us and embracing us, each one of us in his own cylinder of light, like an energy device that is from the center of the universe to the center of the earth, embracing your body and your energy field. This column of light is pre-programmed to dissolve, transmute, transform everything that doesn't serve you, everything that's not beneficial for you. So every time you inhale more light from this column of light around you. And every time you exhale all the worries, thought forms, thought patterns, everything that doesn't serve you, everything that's not beneficial for you. You release it in this column of light. So let your pores of your skin open up. And your body is becoming now a big breathing organism. So you're starting to breathe through all the pores of your skin and allowing the light to go into your cells. From this column of light, it goes into your cells and all your organs. And what it does, it detoxes. So when it goes out with the breath, you release everything that you're ready to release in this column of light. That is pre-programmed to dissolve, transmute, transform all that no longer serves you. Another deep breath, feel your body going lighter and lighter. And with the exhale, again, you release and let go of whatever you're ready to let go of. Another deep breath. And notice that you have a connection cable that comes from the center of the universe, the heart of the central sun, down through the galactic sun, down through your top of the head, your crown, down into your pineal and pituitary glands in the center of your head, down into your body. It goes down through the throat and into your heart chakra. And it opens the center of your chest, your heart chakra, which opens like a lotus or a sun of light. Every time you inhale, you bring in more light into your heart chakra from the heart of the central sun. And when you exhale, you release all this light into your cells, into your organs, into all your physical system. You radiate it from the sun of your heart into all your auric field and out into the universe. Another deep breath in. Is light descending into your heart. And with the exhale, let it flow into your cells, organs, all physical systems, auric field, and out into the universe. You're a radiating sun of light that's receiving light from the heart of the central sun into the sun of your heart. And any resistance to that, just let it go. We ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Let this light go deeper towards the lower centers, solar plexus, sacral base chakras, and down to the perineum and down to the feet. So it radiates from your heart into the feet, and radiates down into your roots, and notice that you have roots all the way down to the center of the earth. So with these roots, you connect to the center of the earth, the heart of Gaia, the sun in the heart of Gaia, and observe how she sends her mama love, her beneficial, beautiful, embracing yin energy all the way up to you. So it comes up through your roots, the energy from the center of the earth, from the sun in the center of the earth, it comes up through your roots, comes up through your soles of the feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, all the way up through the hips, all the way up to the spine, and through the spine, it comes up through your heart chakra, it comes up to the base of the skull and up to the top of the head. And when your body is full, it springs out around you like a toroidal system or sphere of light springs out around you in a bubble of light. And this is surrounding your whole auric field, your whole body. And it's creating a biomagnetic shield that's keeping out all the radiations, Wi-Fi, anything that doesn't serve you, the emotions and thought patterns of others, anything that's not beneficial for you is kept out of this field of light that is built around you with the biomagnetic field of Mother Earth. We ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. So slowly, slowly it comes, you come back, knowing that you're in the sphere of light, the energy from the center of the earth. You're both in these yin and yang vehicles that are balancing your field. You come back now in the soles of the feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs. You're back into the hips. Your presence of light is fully back into your physical body, in the abdomen, lower back, upper back, chest, arms. You're fully present in your throat, shoulders, shoulder blades, face, head, to the top of the head, to the tips of your hairs. You're fully present here now. And you're back into the room. And we give thanks to everyone watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this wonderful meditation. If you want to be in this next workshop starting now, we're happy to have you. Just let me know in a private message, or even here, type yes in the comments and we can arrange so that you receive the links. And my books are all over the internet, in Amazon. You find the Kindle and on paper edition, so you can access them from there. And we can connect on Instagram. This is my profile. And on Facebook and everywhere else. Deepika, write me a message on WhatsApp to participate in the class. You see all the details there about what payments are necessary to be done. Let me see. There it is. I placed the WhatsApp for Deepika so that she can contact me now, and I send her the links. And also, I feel to tell the ones that are here, I haven't planned this, but it's just now coming to me. Normally, the whole class of 8 days is 555 euros. That's the cost of the whole training. And for you specifically, we had an early bird before that. And for this group specifically, because I love this organization, we offer a discount, so it's only 333. 333 is the goddess code or the goddess energy, and this is something that I felt to offer for you. If you want to enroll, just let me know. Big hugs to all. Blessings. And see you next time, whenever that is.
Thank you so much, Christiana. It's amazing. I mean, we try to absorb it so that we can train our minds. Thank you so much. And your retreats, definitely they will be much more worth. Friends, whoever wish to attend, and I'm sure that Romania is a very beautiful country, as far as I know. So it's a good place to visit as well. Yeah, I mean,
amazing,
yeah. So amazing. Thank you so much, Christiana. I see, a lot of gratitude and the beautiful meditation as well. Thank you.
I'm happy that that you enjoyed it. If you were to define in one word what you felt in this meditation, what would be the word that would define your inner state now? You can type it in the comments if you want. One word that defines the meditation or the state that you got. And in the meantime, I'm looking for some pictures from Romania, from this area where we have the retreat, just because I know you like them. So I see expanded, connected to source, balance of yin and yang. I see that you had the great feedback. Joyful. Thank you. Connected to the sun, could feel warm in my body. Yeah, you got this. Let me show you where we were the years before in our retreat. I don't know if you can receive these images. And these are images from the last trip of the sun, from our last retreat, and the places that we visited that are so amazing. I am not sure, it's the first time that I'm sending images in a chat box, so this is something new. Very good and mindful session, peaceful. Yeah, great feedback. Some of you might continue with this energy. You might notice that you have insights during night or dream time, or in your future meditations. Purification, someone says, this will stay with you for a while. So try to pay attention to it or feel how it feels for you, in the next few days. You might notice that you don't need to eat that much, and try to respect your body and follow the guidance of it. So yes, I hope you can see the images that I'm sending. It would have been much easier if I shared my screen, and this is this is an idea that I just got now. When I do these meditations, technology kind of eludes me a little bit. I'm not always the best at it, but it's good that I can connect and get guidance on how to do it. I just want to, as a final thing, to share a screen of the photos of our last retreat, because I know some of you need to connect with these images and with these places. So that's why I'm doing this. Let's see how it works. I have so many things open in my screen, so it's gonna be an interesting journey, but it will work for sure. Let's see. Okay. I see
Very
people
beautiful.
still posting stuff. There it is. So this is the area that I'm going through in the retreats that we're having. And this is how we travel through those mountains. And we go on famous roads and we meditate, as you see that person meditating in a very pristine place, very pure, with fantastic lakes, fantastic views, you know. And this is a t-shirt of one of our participants. This is a temple dedicated to feminine energy that we always visit, and how we meditate inside. This is part of our group. This is another area of the temple where we go and do some meditations. And in general, it's a very pure, high energy place that we visit together. This is a part of a group in 2020, I believe. We were in full pandemic, so not many people could enter the country. But this is our meditation retreat house, and the one in the middle is a yogi that hasn't eaten or drunk for 9 years. And now he's having a little water and a little tea. He's my colleague, Victor, who has been with us in the trip of the sun. So we're having no, this is the time when we still had to wear masks in the caves. That's no longer now necessary. So this is what we do for fun at the end of the month. Hope to have you with us and see you soon. Now I'm really having to go. Big hugs.
Thank you. Thank you once again. So grateful. Immense gratitude to you. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you. Yes, friends. Thank you, everyone, for joining with a short notice. And thank you, Dr. Saurabh, for coming here onto this platform. We would like to have your session as well sometime in next few weeks. So thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you all. With this, let us close the session for now, and we'll meet again, with daily morning and evening meditations, and Buddha Purnima celebrations are happening. Let us utilize these Purnima energies, full moon energies, and let us meditate along with the other group that is happening 24 hours. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day and happy meditating on this full moon day. Thank you.